Hello everyone, welcome to the part 3 of restoration of the Nakamichi 1000ZXL. I was working with this deck for a couple hours, trying to localize the signal. I found that bias on the rise head works. On the record head, bias appears only when we click both playback and run, like for calibration. Then bias start to appear on this head, but there was low level of the signal from the source, right? And there is a couple things. That's the board with record equalization and amplifier, and it's like barely produce any output. Okay, so I was able to record distorted signal when I put levels on maximum, so to get at least something on the tape. So as the outcome, this board has this it's kind of storage register when CPU can record into 2 parts, or 3 parts of this chip, 4-bit information, right? And it sets the data, then select signal comes and it stores in one piece, and another 4 bits, another 4 pin, and so on and so on. So it's able to set the equalization level, combining different set of capacitors. It can set independently left and right channel audio, record levels, and so on. So but it can adjust in some range, right? And when signal is super low, this means that there is just no range which is necessary. So I thought if I would go and recap it with brand new capacitors, which I did successfully. I installed it on the SoundPass VMACAPs, and here are a couple more. And the rest are power caps. These two power caps, these two reference caps, they needed to stabilize levels on the op-amp above 0 volts, or I believe it's 4.8 volts. They stabilize to let MOSFET transistors work, right, in these microchips. And microchips is 4036, so they just analog switches. All right. Okay, now I will install it back and see if it will start working, because I was looking into the CPU, which is on the opposite board, CPU A, and it does produce some signals, but just a few of them. So I'm not sure if it will start working, but let's see. And that's the amount of capacitors I replaced, right? If it would not, so we will continue research and see what's next. Playback is still distorted. I didn't recap playback amplifier yet. All right, see you soon. And here, guys, right after that, it calibrated azimuth. It started calibrate the tape. I believe calibration was not successful. All right, let's try 120. Can we reset it somehow? 120. Now it works. Let's try to record 400 Hz tone. We have it now on source. Good. But level recorded is not there. It was not happening. It wasn't getting on source. Now it works. So it's getting better and better. All right. That means we're still not recording with the necessary level. All right. But what we have, let's see, run. it tries to do azimuth, and then it starts bias, then it continues with equalization. So I believe there is still chance that it will work. All right, I just need to do full recap, validate all parameters and tune it back. You see it cannot calibrate. For some reason it's set noise reduction. Right. One more time. It should not be setting. It switched to 70 microseconds for some reason. So something gets really wrong. You see, it's get bias, equalization, and as soon as it gets to level, it stops. Okay, this means that CPU works. Alright. Now let's see if it still records and with what level. It does not. I didn't connect anything. I need to connect generator. Give me a second. All right, I connected generator, so that's the level we can set. And as you may see, levels on the source are not super stable. That's a tape. You see, I can get them, but they distorted and on very low level. So something like really pretty bad with record amplifier, so it don't gives level. All right, so more research is needed. At least it get a chance to live. That's a good sign. Season. Here guys, I got some recommendations from Dan, who is repairing Nakamichi 1000ZXL in the Illinois area, right? So he recommended me to do a test record for the calibration process, and then like listen what it records and how it adjusts. So let's do it. Let's see full cycle. So it's currently working on azimuth. That's the first time it calibrated. It never was doing it before. All right. Let me connect and see if it will start record anything. See you in a moment. All right, I'm connected oscilloscope and generator. I'm supplying 400 Hz. I set level minus 10 decibel. Let's see if it will start recording. Source. Tape. Doesn't work. All right, now let's try the calibration process again. Okay, it started calibration process. It records signals, and later we would be able to see what it recorded, because we can always roll back to zeros and play back the tape, right? My understanding that this deck has faulty latches on the record amplifier, so you see it cannot complete calibration. Why I believe that? Let's take a look what's recorded. So that's the azimuth calibration, and let's switch it to bias calibration. That's where it's placed with left channel, but right channel never can get to the proper position. You see, it's jumps. Now here is the equalization. That time is better. Like I seen, yeah. So it's kind of left-right channel uneven, and it cannot do it. And then it gets to levels, and it's again cannot set the levels. So my understanding is that latches do not control the levels and equalization on the record amplifier board. What I will do, so there is two cables. Like one cable is connected, I believe, somewhere from here. It's S. It's control signals to latch, and 4 cables from here goes. It's data for 4-bit bus, and they connect to this like 4-bit bus here, and another connector here, and to work with latches. All right. And how it works: CPU sends 4-bit data and sets latch signal, and like this 4 bits being stored in the latch, right? And there is 4 chips. Each chip has 2 sets of latches for 4 bits. So all in all, it's we get 16 for one channel, 16 for other channel. 4 of them is for levels, like 8-bit for levels and 8-bit for equalization. And equalization consists of 2 parts, like 5 bits and 3 bits for the high frequencies. Right? And they have to store these signals, data signals from the CPU, but looks like it doesn't work. I'm already ordered latches, so I will replace them as soon as they arrive, and let's go from there. Before that, I probably will just see if there are like data signals. It's pretty hard to see if data signals really get in there, because it's data bus, like it goes across multiple chips on this board. So there are some of them for the bias levels, which still latches and still has to be stored and so on. And as you may see, like there is like bias levels where like not working properly either. Right, even if they're very close, one channel was doing better than the other one. Right, and there is still room to replace capacitors on these boards. I will continue this work. I'm getting an agreement. I will be buying out this deck from the owner. He don't intend to pay that amounts of money to restore this deck. So let's see if I will be able to recover it. I know I'm already discussed that like to tune this deck properly, you need to have an external device which connects on the opposite side of this board. You see all these connectors? That's where it should be connected to control different modes, so we can adjust levels. Right? I got the pack of switches before, and I was going to build this board and connect it, and it will take time. It will be a long process. Buying something like that is how expensive, $400 and up. So I believe I can do it myself. All right, stay tuned for my channel. We will try to bring this guy back to life. As we may see, partially works, but partially. Technically, I mentioned one more thing. Looks like even if it switches to bias, it still like controls levels of 400 Hz and cannot get into minus 10 decibel level. I've seen other video when it should go to minus 10 on the 400 Hz and minus 10 on the 15 kilohertz, right? And here we see, so here is the azimuth, right? Then it tries to get level, and it gets around minus 20, and it never gets to minus 10, all right? And it's still 400 Hz. You see, it tries 2 different options, but it not goes to minus 10 decibel. See, and it's never goes to high frequencies. Here, try it a little bit, and that's it. No levels. That's why it doesn't calibrate. Okay. See you. Here I'm back, and I did dozens of additional tests. I tested the data bus. I tested the signal for latches. I found a few like data bus works, but like in the regular mode there is just 2 bits work. When like nothing happening, when you switch different tape memory modes, it switches between different modes and like different bus lines, data lines start to work. So technically CPU sends all signals like well, right? Then it has to latch it properly everywhere. Then I started to test and see like what else it works and not works. And then I started to try to record different frequencies, right? And I figured it out like as soon as I go above 13, 14 kilohertz and up, suddenly like signal starts to record. So my next, and like my understanding is that bias is not working properly, because this can happen only like when high frequencies start to record themselves on the tape without using the bias. That's why like Dolby HX Pro was invented, so it reduces level of bias when high frequencies in the signal, so they record themselves better than like with the bias. So it now plays really nice with no distortion. It still has issue with real motor noise coming to the playback signal. All right, like it's on the like minus 40 level, something like that. It's playback mode. Like I also found that probably something broke in the tape transport, or maybe it was not properly assembled during previous rebuild, because brakes don't work after rewind. Take a look. See, this direction works, but this direction. Now it worked. It wasn't working, so reels were continuing rolling. Maybe it's getting better over time. Ivan can start it now with almost no delay. The belt warmed up, I can give some friction. Well, really interesting deck. I spent time like looking into schematics, spent time testing different signals, digital signals. It like gives like 10.5 volts amplitude on digital buses, so everything is CMOS logic and CMOS based CPU, so works on the high signals. It's technically 4-bit CPU, and it operates, I believe, on 3 to 400 kilohertz, something like that. But it was one of the first CPUs which they used, right? My father's thoughts, probably deck needs full recapping. Specifically, orange caps needs to gone. See, as soon as I like replace it, all orange caps on the record board, we started to give signal to the outputs. So probably bias generator needs to be recapped first, and then like we'll go from there, step by step, trying to restore it. And finally, to tune it, I would need to assemble a control board which would be turning on specific modes, so we would be able like to tune element by element separately, like levels for the reference generators, all levels on all boards, and so on. I mentioned that this deck has less levels on the record boards, so there are just a few controls, but as you may see, there is additional relays just on these boards and so on. So we'll see. As I told, head has wear, right? So I tested with my ABEX tapes, and left channel gives like 2 decibel lower than the right channel on 10 and 12.5 kilohertz. It's still more or less fine, so it sounds fine, like, right? But that's the first sign that heads are on the last couple 100 hours. All right, everyone. I listened to the deck on the amplifier, compared it with my RX 505, and make decision to recouple the back amplifier to see if it will work better now, because sound was muffled a bit. Okay, it was not bad, but top high frequencies were not clear as I would like them to be. So you see this like 4 WIMA capacitors. This sits on the south pass, and that's why I'm installed WIMA. Specifically, it uses 4.7 microfarad, so I can use regular caps. I don't need to invent anything. I replace it all orange caps, and the rest you see with Nichicon fine gold. Luckily, I have most of the values. Right, so only 2 I didn't have is 3.3 microfarad. I'm already run out of them. The number of cups is growing. It's already about 1 pound here. So let's see. Let me install and see if it will start sound better. See you soon. Hey guys, and I decided to clean up tape transport, and I found another issue. Take a look on the right pinch roller. It don't go up. I was able to work it out a little bit. You see it slowly rising. And there may be a moment when it will start working. Yeah, right now. Alright. So technically I need to disassemble and do a full service for tape transport before I will move forward, because that may be a reason of the poor recording, because tape will not be pulled straight on the heads. There may be a gap, and that's why like it will not record either. All right, so moving on. Hope to have it fixed. See you. Hello everyone, and here I am continuing to disassemble this deck in the hope to recap it. And like, to tell the truth, that is not the same as Revox. Even I disconnected like a dozen of connectors. I marked all of them like with different colors to make sure I will not mess them up. But still, like, so many wires left connected on these boards and on the lower boards that I cannot remove it. I thought about this one because I disconnected these real nice connectors, and there is another bunch of wires which leads not to connectors but to other places in the deck, and those looks to be just like screwed on top of the pins, same as here. You see, I do not understand that kind of design, why they did it. Like, if you've seen my Revox restoration series, you can just pull out all boards and everything on the connectors, and that's it. Alright, so here I will have to work like in air, keep the board, desolder, rotate them, and so on. I hope I would be able to remove at least this board. It looks like everything on connectors. Lower board is not removable. Again, I will work in the air, so probably will remove front panel and tape transport to give me better access there. So stay tuned. There will be a couple weeks, maybe months, while I complete the job. See you. All right. Moving on. I have lots of cups, but not everything. So I was able to complete this board. Install the power supply cups, additional cups, replace it 15,000 picofarad orange cup. And on this board there was more work. There are multiple 0.7 for 47 microfarads, 1 microfarad, 10 microfarad, 330. And like multiple orange cups. I'm missing like 2 by 3300 picofarad, and this one like 0.15 microfarad. I have to order them, but good progress so far. Still lots of to go. All right, I don't have that exotic cups like 0.68 microfarad, like and so on, being like working with Nakamichi for so many years, right? So these boards would be easy, so I just have to pull them out and recap. Add those lower boards, these boards. I believe I can pull out this board. Lower boards will be a problem. It will require lots of exercise. All right, time to pull out front panel and see, pull out tape transport and see what's next. Okay, I'm moving on. I recopied detector PCB. As you may see, not all capacitors find gold anymore. It's harder and harder to get them. So I do as best as I can. For most values I still have, as you see, quite nice fine gold caps. That's each one has been replaced. Next would be the record equalization and Dolby board. Alright, let's see. And here is relay. I have to desolder and clean it up. See you soon. Alright, and here is the record amplifier and Dolby board, fully recapped. As you may see, I have a good storage of capacitors. Unfortunately, it's not endless, so it's running out on some values already, but I'm doing my best to have as much as I can. Next I will desolder, clean this relay, and this board will be complete. See you. That would be it for this part. Stay tuned for my channel. Hope you enjoy. See you soon and bye bye.